Hello everybody and welcome back to the Halo Chronicle. Today's video is another installment in my Halo short stories. What if I told you that there is a Halo installation that predates all of the rest? The installation endured some of the worst atrocities of the Forerunner Flood War. Through these atrocities, it was fired more than any other installation in the history of the Halo array. Today's topic is Installation 07, aka Zeta Halo. We will discuss its origin, use, and some of the horrific events that have taken place on it. Let's jump into it. Zeta Halo was constructed as a part of the first array of Halos. That's right, there have actually been two different sets of Halo arrays created in the Milky Way. The array that we visit in the games is called the Neoteric Array, but before their creation, there was another, much more problematic array. This array of Halos would be called the Senescent Array. The installations created as a part of this array were significantly bigger than the Halos that we see today. They measured at a colossal 30,000 kilometers in diameter. To put that in perspective, the Neoteric Halo installations only measured 10,000 kilometers in diameter. The Senescent Array also came with its own extragalactic forging location called the Greater Arc. The Senescent Array was rushed into construction by the array's creator, the Master Builder. The Master Builder was the leader of the Builder caste of Forerunners and would be a key figure in both the Human Forerunner War and the Forerunner Flood War. Due to the rushed construction of the Senescent Array, a number of design flaws would come to light during the final stages of its construction. The first would be caused by the immense size of each Halo installation. The Forerunners used a particle reconciliation transit system for slipspace travel. Moving senescent Halos with this transit system would cause a significant buildup of reconciliation debt. This debt would cause all other Forerunner slipspace travel, communications, and even the Forerunners' ability to commune with the domain to stop. Another fatal flaw of the Senescent Array would be the firing mechanism used on the Senescent Halos. The firing mechanism could only fire linearly in one direction at a time. This meant that it would be impossible to cleanse the galaxy of all life simultaneously. Thus, the Flood would be given avenues in which it could escape. These flaws would lead the Forerunner Council to reconsider the use of the Halo Array. Before the final judgment on the Halo Array could be made, the Forerunner Council wanted to see an installation in action. They ordered a localized test firing of a Halo installation. The Halo used in the test firing of the Senescent Array would be Zeta Halo. It would be the first firing of a Halo installation ever recorded in history. Zeta Halo would be brought to the Jerome Hakor system. Jerome Hakor was a planet that once housed the capital of the ancient human empire. Jerome Hakor was a very unique planet due to it being encased by colossal structures made up of an advanced form of technology called neurophysics. This technology was used by the species responsible for seeding all life throughout the galaxy, the Precursors. These structures were so advanced that not even the Forerunners themselves fully understood them. They had no understanding on how to access or use these structures, but they would discover a way to destroy them. Zeta Halo was test fired on a system-wide setting to prevent it from causing too much collateral damage. The Forerunners would discover that Halo's radiation not only killed all life in the system, it nullified neural physics. All of the structures in the Jerome Hakor system created with neural physics would literally melt and dissolve away. This would include a precursor stasis pod stored in Jerome Hakor's capital city. The destruction of the precursor structures in the Jerome Hakor system would cause quite a stir amongst the Forerunner counselors. Forerunners saw the precursor structures as monuments to their creators. They were seen as sacred objects that were treated with reverence. The destruction of these structures would cause the Forerunner Council to rethink the use of the Halo Array entirely. The Halo test firing would also reveal something even more disturbing. A monstrous creature would be discovered in the ruins of Jerome Hakor. This creature resembled that of a giant Eurypterid. It had a large flat head, a segmented sea scorpion-like tail, and several sets of limbs. It also had large glittering eyes. This creature would go by many names, including the Primordial, the Timeless One, and the captive. The Forerunners led by the Master Builder would capture this creature and bring it to Zeta Halo for further study and interrogation. The Master Builder would then order the most sophisticated and advanced AI in Forerunner history, Mendicant Bias, to interrogate the Primordial. This simple act would be the biggest mistake in the history of the Forerunner ecumene. The Master Builder believed that due to the advanced intelligence of Mendicant Bias, it would be impossible for the AI to be subverted. He would be gravely mistaken. During the interrogation of the Primordial on Zeta Halo, the monstrous Eurypterid-like creature would reveal that it spoke with the authority of the Precursors. It also revealed that it, in fact, was the last living Precursor. After searching the domain for validation, Mendicant Bias would conclude that the Primordial was telling the truth. The Primordial would then reveal the events of the Forerunner Precursor War to Mendicant Bias. It would then reveal that it believed that the Forerunners were holding back the galaxy from progressing to its next stage in the form of the Flood. These revelations would lead to Mendicant Bias being corrupted with the digital form of the Flood called the Logic Plague. Zeta Halo would go missing during this interrogation for over 43 years. It would stop responding to all Forerunner inquiries entirely. To better understand the Flood, the Primordial would then have Mendicant Bias release all of the Flood specimens stored on Zeta Halo. Zeta Halo would also house a small population of humans as a part of the Librarian's conservation measure. The Primordial and Mendicant Bias would use Zeta Halo's systems to herd up the humans like cattle and bring them to Flood research centers. There, the Primordial and Mendicant Bias would conduct horrific experiments on the humans stationed on the installation. Humans were forcibly consumed by the Flood. After studying the Flood, the Primordial would discover a kind of kinship with the parasite. It would discover what it long suspected. The Flood represented the return of the Precursors. The Primordial would then make a great sacrifice. It would allow the Flood to consume it. Unlike other creatures that were consumed by the Flood, the Primordial would retain its consciousness, memories, and motivations. Its consciousness would actually become the foundation for the Flood's central intelligence. This central intelligence would become known as the Gravemind. From that point forward, all Flood Graveminds would inherit the Primordial's consciousness, memories, and attitudes. The Master Builder's failures would continue to mount following Zeta Halo's disappearance. These failures would result in the Master Builder being arrested and brought to the Forerunner capital to stand trial. As a part of the trial, all of the remaining senescent Halo installations would be brought to the Forerunner capital system for possible decommission. Zeta Halo would be the only installation missing from this array. During the Master Builder's trial, Zeta Halo would arrive in the Forerunner capital. Mendicant Bias would use its vast resources to seize control of the capital. It would then attempt to take control of multiple Halo installations. The goal of this surprise attack was to fire a Halo installation in the Forerunner capital system. Fearing the worst, the Forerunners mounted a fierce defense of their capital, but in the end, it would not be enough. Mendicant Bias was able to fire a heavily damaged Zeta Halo. Billions of Forerunner lives would be lost as a result of this attack. The Forerunner governing body would be crippled. After the attack on the capital, hidden Forerunners stationed on Zeta Halo would enact a failsafe protocol. This protocol was reserved and would only be used in the event of a Halo installation going rogue. The protocol would strip control of the installation from Mendicant Bias and send the installation through slipspace to a random system. The installation would then be put on a collision course with a nearby planet in an effort to destroy the installation. To regain control of Zeta Halo, Mendicant Bias would again turn to the humans stationed on the installation. Mendicant Bias would again herd up the humans like cattle. The humans would be forcefully merged with the Flood and integrated into Zeta Halo's systems. By doing this, Mendicant was able to control vital systems across the installation. This would allow Mendicant Bias to reposition the installation in a way that the nearby planet would pass through the center of the installation. This still caused significant damage, but would save the installation from certain destruction. During the pass, Forerunners led by the ISO Didact would locate and travel to Zeta Halo. The ISO Didact would enact failsafe codes to deactivate Mendicant Bias. He would then assume control of the installation and guide it through its tricky maneuver. The installation would be saved, but it would come at a price. The structural integrity of the installation was severely compromised. 2/3 of the installation's inner surface was ripped away due to the planet's gravitational forces. To save Zeta Halo, the ISO Didact encased it in a stasis field. Zeta Halo's pre-firing mechanism was activated to create hard light connection points across the ring. This further stabilized the installation. The ISO Didact then forced Zeta Halo to eject damaged panels. The installation would shrink from 30,000 kilometers down to a more familiar 10,000 kilometers. All savable humans were rescued and removed from Zeta Halo. The Primordial would be captured and executed by the ISO Didact himself. Due to the installation's new size, Zeta Halo could now be repaired and retrofitted by the Neoteric Array's extragalactic forging location known as the Lesser Arc. Zeta Halo would be completely resurfaced and would receive an upgraded firing mechanism. This would make it to where Zeta Halo could join the Neoteric Array as Installation 07. Zeta Halo would be fired one last time at the end of the Forerunner Flood War when the entire array was activated at the Lesser Arc. The activation would purge the galaxy of the insidious parasite known as the Flood. After the array's activation, the surviving Forerunners would discover something they didn't expect. A previously unknown species called the Zalan would survive the array's activation. The Forerunners led by the Grand Edict would take Zeta Halo to the Zalan's home planet. Under the disguise of a parley, the Forerunners would imprison the Zalan in Silexes. This was done to ensure that humanity would inherit the mantle of responsibility and would become the galaxy's new caretakers. These Silexes would be stored in a prison called the Silent Auditorium on Zeta Halo. All records regarding the existence of the Silent Auditorium would be erased or locked away for nearly 100,000 years. As you can probably tell now, we have been to this installation in a game. Zeta Halo is the very same Halo we visit in Halo Infinite. Though it was not portrayed as well as I would have hoped, this is still the most mysterious and haunting Halo installation in the galaxy. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video chronicling Zeta Halo. If you enjoyed the video, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if you have not already done so. If you have any more ideas for future Halo short stories, please feel free to leave them in the comments section below. As always, thank you for watching, and I'll catch you next time.